Hey, are you thinking of moving to the Phoenix area and wondering what are the things to know before buying a home here? Well, this is the video for you, and you're going to watch to the end because we will cover the top things that we wish we knew before buying our first homes here in Phoenix.
So we actually get a lot of calls from people that are thinking of moving to the Phoenix area, and we absolutely love it. We love taking your calls. We love answering your questions. We love help guiding you to make sure that you get all the information that you need so that you can make a great decision when you're moving to the Phoenix area. So what we need you to do is give us a call, send us a message, you send us a text, a DM, however you want to get a hold of us. We are here for you, and we want to be able to answer all your questions. One of the things that we kind of want to talk about is what we wish we had known when we were first moving to the Phoenix area. Now, the first one is how bloody hot it gets here in the summertime. I had no idea. So I moved here actually 30 years ago from Massachusetts. And the day my furniture arrived, it was 122. That was June 26th of 1990. It's embedded in my brain because that's the day my furniture arrived, and I had no idea that it got that hot. Now, it's never gotten that hot again, but it has gotten up into the high 110s here, and I think maybe it got up to 120 one other time. So with that, you obviously need to have air conditioning.
If you want to survive, at least.
If you want to survive. So again, what you need to know about the air conditioning here is we only have a couple of choices when it comes to electric companies. Actually, we don't have any choices. The electric company, it depends on what your address is. We have two major power companies here, and depending on where you live, that's the power company. You don't have any choice in the matter in which power company you choose. But what you do have is some options when it comes to the type of plan that you want to use. So there's some different plans that you can choose that might help you minimize your electric bills. Obviously, there's a standard plan where you can sign up and it's just the same price all day long, all night long, every day, in the summer, in the winter, it doesn't matter. You pay the same price. I'm not really sure who would want to benefit from that plan, but some people might. The other options that you have are, it's called time of use. And so there's certain times of the day, and I believe it's from either 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., which are considered the high use times. So if you use most of your electricity during non-peak hours, you can save significantly if you sign up for those plans.
Which means, doing your laundry, having your pool cleaning stuff run,
right,
and other things that are high energy
your
usage
dishwasher,
like that.
Make sure you run your dishwasher either late at night or early in the morning. So anything that uses a lot of electricity, your AC, if you want to maybe crank it down a little bit in the morning, cool the house off, and then maybe crank it up a little bit so you're not using quite as much electricity during those high peak times. That's going to help you save some money. So some other options when it comes to choosing a plan, if you have an electric vehicle, they actually have plans that are specific to electric vehicles. They can help you choose a plan that works, and you'll want to charge your vehicle during those times. Some other things that I didn't know about were all the rebate programs that are available. Our power companies really do want us to save money. So they have rebate programs for, like, if you install a new air conditioner that's more energy efficient, or if you install windows that are a little bit more energy efficient. If you install a smart thermostat, you can get a rebate. Even you can get rebates if you have someone come and check your home to see if you have any leaks, and they cover all the leaks. And the other thing they have, and I just found out about this one too, and I signed up for it myself, is they have what's called a home performance plan. So you can have someone come out and then check your home to see where you're losing
AC going
out, or if you have lights that maybe aren't as efficient. They'll check all the efficiencies of all your appliances, your air conditioning, and everything to try and help you save money.
Speaking of ACs, they are probably one of our hardest working things out here, and they go hard all summer making sure that we stay nice and cool in our homes. battling the heat. But one thing with the AC is you do need to make sure that you are taking care of the filters throughout the house, as we do have quite a bit of dust throughout here since we are living in the high desert. So every couple of months you will want to go and replace those filters to make sure that there's not a lot of back pressure building up in the system, which will really help the efficiency and just overall coolness of your home.
Yeah, another thing about the air conditioners is they have, they're designed to take the moisture out of the air. So they have a condensation pan underneath them. And then there's a little hose that comes out of the condensation pan, and that condensation goes out onto the ground. And then there's what's called a secondary condensation line. So if the first one gets clogged up, the second one will kick in. So you'll want to check those condensation lines. And if you see water coming out of that second one, you're going to want to get your air conditioner serviced. I made the mistake of not checking mine, and my condensation pan was full. And what happens when the condensation pan is full? Overflows, and most of our AC units are in the attic. So when it overflowed, it ended up ruining my ceiling. So it cost me a ton of money to get that fixed. So make sure that you are checking those condensation lines, and better yet, get your system serviced at least twice a year. Once before the cooling weather starts and once before the heating weather starts.
Yeah, for with that service before the cooling weather starts, we don't really use our heaters that often here as well. And a lot of the furnace type heaters or the combo AC heaters need to be serviced before to make sure there's nothing clogging them up or anything. Because the last thing you want is to kick that heater on and have a bunch of fluff or other stuff in there that could be a fire hazard right there, which you don't want, and just to make sure that it's working properly.
Well, and the other thing that you mentioned, Josh, is with all the dust, the compressors are usually on the outside of the house. So with those, you're going to want to get the coils cleaned. And again, all these ideas are to help you maintain efficiency on your air conditioning unit so that you don't run into those huge electric bills, because that first electric bill I got was over $700, and I almost had a heart attack.
And another little tip for your AC, and especially the condensation pan, is they have a lot of different sensors and stuff you can get now with different security systems, which also help with homeowners insurance. And then if you have those in whenever anything detects water, such as the condensation pan there, or by your washer dryer or dishwasher, lets you know right away. That way you can find and solve the issue, or at least stop the leakage before it starts to damage your home.
All right, the other thing I wish I had known, because we didn't have it where we lived, is all the pools that are here. So you do need, especially in the summer, you need weekly pool service, because if the chemicals in your pool get off even a little bit, you can quickly find yourself with a pool full of algae, and that's the last thing you want, because then you have to drain the pool and fill it back up with water, and there's a lot of cost and chemicals and stuff to get that done. So a lot of people here do use a pool service company, which I highly recommend. I mean, unless you're, really on top of it and willing to do it yourself. But typically a pool service company here is about $100, $125 a month, which is very reasonable to make sure that your pool is maintained. And especially after some of our summer dust storms, when they fill up with a lot of dust and debris and dirt, having someone else be able to clean that up is really makes it a lot easier on everybody.
Because the last thing you want is, if you get a bunch of algae, having to spend the money for average pool, which is anywhere from 20 to 30,000 gallons or more. It's a big water bill there. And then who wants to clean up all that dust and everything from the filters and everything, making sure everything's running? Just so much easier with contracting out a company.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I was kind of surprised about too is lawn care. A lot of the areas here, we have what's called natural desert landscaping. So you wouldn't think there's a lot of lawn care that would be involved. But there's a fair amount. We don't need, service every week unless you have, natural grass. And then, of course, you would need, weekly service for that. But you still do need to, you need to get the trees trimmed probably at least once a year. You need to treat the ground for any weeds that, seem to pop up after every rainstorm that we get. And you just need someone to just, clean up once in a while. I call it raking the rocks. So again, a lot of homeowners here are going to hire someone to do that. It just, especially in the summertime, that's the last thing you want to do is when it's 105 or 110, have to be outside, raking the rocks.
Yep, and then also fall season too, when a lot of the trees around here shed quite a bit, it can make a mess. And having one of those service companies out there just saves you so much time and energy, especially in the heat, as Barbara said. Then also going along with the lawn care and maintenance is irrigation. So most of the irrigation around here is on drip systems, and every now and then in some certain areas you do have flood irrigation, but it's not super common. But with the drip systems, it is important to make sure you stay on top of those systems, because they can cause leaks and other things, especially they're usually plastic pipes that run underground, usually about anywhere from 6 inches to a foot there. But if they do spring a leak, that can cause quite a bit of water usage there. And you might be wondering yourself, why did my water bill go up 2 or 3 times this month?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably a leak.
Probably, yeah, got a leak in your drip system.
And then with that as well, to conserve energy and water as well, having those on timers is definitely a great idea. Having them watered overnight, so that way the trees and the plants can really soak up that water without it evaporating too quick. Saves you money, and a lot of... The next up on the list is windows. So a couple things with windows is... One, here in Arizona, as we mentioned, in the summer it does get quite hot and that sun is very intense. So definitely recommend, and I wish I had known when I first got a place, that having window screens, especially darker ones and ones that are UV repellent, are super, super handy, as it really eliminates a lot of that heat coming through the windows, which is one of the main sources of heat coming in. So keeping that cool, excellent. And then plus, during the winter, you get to open up those windows and still have those screens so no bugs or anything will get in, and really enjoy that breeze coming through. Then also with the screens, having screen doors front and back is also a super nice touch. That way, sometimes in the later fall, you can open up those windows and doors, especially at night, and get a cross flow going through the house. Really save you a lot versus having to run your AC the entire time. And then winter, you don't need your AC at all. Just open up those windows, let that breeze come through. Super nice. And then also with windows, having the newer technology, the dual pane, especially gas injected windows as well, goes a long way to helping save their energy costs and just keeping the house cooler in general. And as Barbara mentioned earlier, with the electric bills, also can save you a bit there as well.
It saves you a lot of money if you're not, getting that beating sun coming through your windows.
And the rebates they offer with it.
Oh, and the rebates, yep, for sure. So the next thing I wish I had known more about was homeowners insurance and just the options that might be available for you to be able to save money on your homeowners insurance. So for example, if you have a smart home devices, for example, a smart doorbell or cameras, you can get a discount on your homeowners insurance for things like that. Another thing that I just found out is there are some places here in Arizona that what's called a floodplain. We talked about this maybe a little bit earlier about when we get a lot of rain, that there are certain areas that are prone to flooding. So certain areas do require flood insurance, but other areas it's not mandatory. However, I just found out that for a very, very nominal charge, you can get flood insurance for your home, even if you're not in a floodplain. Now, why is this important? Well, in a storm, if you get rain water that's coming into the house, not wind damage, but rain that's actually coming into the house and it floods, that's not something that's covered under your homeowner's insurance unless you have flood insurance. So like I said, I just found out that for a very nominal fee, you can add that to your policy so that if you get a really weird, rainstorm that just maybe sends rain in sideways, then that would be covered under your homeowner's insurance. So some tips for you, some things that we wish we had known when we were first buying our homes here in Arizona.
Yeah, I know a lot of those, as you mentioned, I wish I had known when I bought my first place as well. And we're just here to try and give you guys as much information as we can to really help you know as much as you possibly can and be prepared for your move here. It is really a beautiful and amazing spot to live. But again, it's one of those things you just need to also reach out to us. We might not have covered everything. Leave a comment below what your favorite takeaway from this is, or what number one thing you wish you had known. But otherwise, you just got to reach out to us if you have other questions or anything like that.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you. We would love to be able to answer your questions. But to do that, again, you need to reach out to us. So give us a call. Send us a text, email, however you want to reach out to us. We're here for you. If we don't have the answers, we're going to go find them for you.
But hey, if you did like that video, make sure you hit the like button. It helps out a ton. Then if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't like it. But make sure to get that bell on.
Oh yeah, ding ding.
That way you can get notified of all our future content, which we do upload every week. But thanks for joining us. We'll see ya.